on the win. I heard some mixed reactions about the draft you guys pulled today, so explain. So Jana top.
Jana top this time, yeah. I mean, Jana was more like a pick into set. It was not really comp dependent. And also it is most likely the last time you can play stuff like this top lane after the nerfs. So I had to like do it for the last time, you know. I think our draft, like we really hard outscaled them, I think, with Ezreal, Yumi, and Jana. Olaf also being kind of unkillable with all the things you can just run in. And I think Yasuo can't really deal with that and all that. I think that draft in general, I mean, they played really well early game, and I think they had to like win from early game as well, which they were kind of about to. But I mean, we also stole an Ashe, and I think even probably without it, could have still went and won the game anyways.
I mean, the caster were talking about the late game scaling from Fnatic, so I'm really wondering if you would have won without the Nashor. So you're convinced you would have?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think for sure they have champs that when you look at it, you can say, wow, this champ individually, like Kai'Sa scales really well, Yasuo scales really well with Gragas, but I think against our composition, it's not really the case, which is why I think even without the Nash, even though for sure it would have been harder, especially since we can't most likely deal with all three lanes at the same time with a Nash buff. I think we can stall it and then win after the Nash runs out, for sure.
All right, well, as you said, it might be the last time you get to play this, so how do you feel when you make the balance team sweat so much and nerf this kind of champion top lane?
So it's actually funny because I didn't really play Jana. I played Jana like 1 or 2 scrim games yesterday. And before that, like I first time did in scrims, played like 1 or 2 games, and I was like, okay, it actually kind of works. After I think I saw on Reddit or something that Jana has like 56% win rate. I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it, and it makes sense into set. So I just played it, and I mean, I didn't really play it, so I guess it doesn't take that much skill. I guess or either that, or I'm just like a support main at heart. Who knows? But I made it work at least.
Role swap next year, maybe.
I'm never going support.
Thank you, Reddit, for carrying grabs, I guess, in the draft, doing this job now. How did you prep against Fnatic? I know these are special games in general.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think prepping against Fnatic is always like kind of hard. I mean, we know they have their like comfort picks. We know mostly like top lane, Bippo, he likes his niche picks, his comfort picks, and same for mid lane. I think they're both like players with very distinct champ pools where you can like kind of know what you get from them. So it's like not too hard. And I think also this week, since we were playing both OG and Fnatic, we didn't really have to like specifically prepare for, I mean, we had to prepare for both of them, so we didn't really have like time to just tone in on Fnatic and like just do everything to win this game. But I think we had like a pretty good grasp of the meta, I guess, and I think that's what carried us this week.
I agree, and you are in first place right now at the end of this week. I think you noticed how crazy the fans were today in the audiences. Anything you would like to say to them?
Well, I would like to thank all of you guys. I would like to thank all of you guys for coming out, of course, and I heard like a lot of back and forth, but a lot of respect between G2 and Fnatic fans, so I think that was pretty nice to hear, even though, of course, I have my headset on, I can't hear everything. I think how you guys were like cheering on both of us was really nice, and I'm happy you guys came.
Thanks to the audience. Thank you, Wonder, for the interview. Congrats on the win once again. Now to PGL.
Are we going live?
We are indeed! Welcome to PGL, we are live! Thank you for the setup, Perks. I was actually just saying to Perks and the Grabs that Wonder had a heartwarming end to the interview. He's thanking the fans here in Berlin who have been ecstatic all weekend long. I am joined by the victorious Grabs and Perks. Sitting in first place, undisputed for the first time in a while. Perks, how does it feel to take down Fnatic?
Well, honestly, Trevor, I'll be honest with you. It feels good. It feels good. Just maybe like not in the manner that I wanted to take it down. We were kind of like farming for late game, just waiting for them to basically make a mistake and for Israel to carry the game alone. It was basically Israel won me in the game or we lose, and he did. So I'm really happy for Rasmus carrying us this game. It was nice, but I felt kind of useless. Yeah.
But what about the Baron steal? The first replay.
I actually forgot about that.
The first replay I have to bring up, Grabs. If this Baron steal didn't happen,
it was lost.
Did your boys? Did they win this game?
Yeah, I mean the Jana was not as good as we thought after scrims.
Okay.
I mean, it's always hard to practice if you play Origin and Fnatic the same week, because then you play all different teams of scrims, right? So it felt we felt a bit lost, I think, in the mid game, how strong we actually are. I mean, they take it 50-50, right? We can't. I mean, it's always like the decision they have to make. Django's just like the E of Olaf, so he can always like smite steal. So I think it's like not the best play by them. Maybe they also felt pressured, but yeah, I think if they get the Nash, of course they win.
If I recall correctly, Jankos didn't have flash on him, but the blast cone wasn't popped. He took the blast cone to get in. I wonder if we listen to Mike Check, if Fnatic are like, go, 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 he can't get in the pit.
I mean, he said like, don't pop the plant, don't pop the plant.
Right.
So we knew, but maybe they didn't.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. I've got one other replay that Perks I'd like you to talk me through. It comes a little later in the game, 28 minutes in. If I recall correctly, nearly nobody dies, and you got jumped on by the Raptor camp.
Oh yeah, that was crazy, man.
Like,
I actually shit my pants there. Because I'm pretty sure, like there was fights. There was like not many fights, there was like 3 fights this game, and that was one of the fights where I think I actually missed it. Because that game, I mean that fight, it just looks really hard for me. Because right now, I will get Gragas ulted. I mean, after this, right? Whatever
yes, because he's coming up on the minimap right now.
Yeah.
And I know he's gonna ult me, but I'm thinking maybe I can tank it.
And you also had stopwatch and
is it this one?
hourglass.
Oh, it's next
It's a
one.
different
No?
replay, I think, yeah.
It's a different replay.
It's a different fight.
Like this is the fight where we end the game. So that's like, yeah, this fight. I mean, I played perfectly as good as I could. Obviously, this fight was pretty good, but the one at Raptors, yeah, was.
All right, so unfortunately we lost the middle replay there. The
I got
28
lost in the
minute.
communication. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. We're planning this one on the fly. But I mean, you talked about it. You said what? You shit yourself in the fights. The game was fairly slow. You know, we were expecting a bloodbath. It's something that has happened. Obviously, Janna top, and you know, he's going to slow things down a little.
Yeah.
And Ezreal Yumi.
Yeah.
But I mean, how difficult was it playing those fights out?
I mean, for my champ, it was literally unplayable. I mean, I have to like complain. Like, what is this draft grabs? Like, I'm playing Akali against Gragas, Yasuo, Kai'Sa, Sett. Like every champ on their enemy team, Rakan, I forgot to mention him, every champ like hard counters me, so I can't play the game. On top of that, I can't play the lane because top is losing and he has Predator, so he's running mid. Bot is losing because we have Ezreal Yumi and Rakan is running mid, so I'm laning 4 versus 1 and I can't play teamfights. So grabs.
Have you seen Twitter yet, by the way?
Honestly, it's really hard to get him to like blind pick something. So we're just trying to like make him have like bad last picks. So he like stops and one day says, oh, you know what? I just blind pick Zoe or something. And then one day actually gets a counter pick. But yeah.
Wonder got the counter pick this game.
Did you see Carlos's tweet yet, by the way? I'm going to quote it. It went, ha ha ha, what the F, at G2 grabs, effing Janna. I love it.
What camera is it?
You're going to be on the middle one, or you can go this
I
way.
take this one.
Okay.
So Carlos, if you start every split saying the guys should have fun, this is what you get.
A week ago, I gave Grabs the opportunity to flame the players for the draft. It's quite nice to have you sitting side by side and see Perks like flaming Grabs. The theory, though, Wonder was talking about in the interview, he said he first timed the Janna in scrims, and he didn't think it worked as well as he had hoped. Your opinion as the coach, did it go as you were hoping? And give me a little bit more detail about it.
Yeah, again, I think like in hindsight, of course, if we don't have the best practice, we should not take our scrim success too much on the stage. But I mean, Janna basically into set is, he can't bully her really, and even if he dies once or twice, it's basically like a Soraka, just worse. We again at the like you can't die scenario in a fight. So kind of the same idea, and also Caps got a lot of criticism about dying a lot. So if he has Ezreal, Yumi, and Janna, it's really hard for him to die. So I think it's also like a comp for him.
True, actually, I'm really envious of that.
I mean, now he beat Upset and Reckless, and I mean, I guess Bevo is the best AD carry in Europe, but then Caps is the second best.
I cannot believe that you guys are playing like 5D chess here. That what you care about is Caps is being flamed for dying, so you pick a comp against Fnatic in match of the week to make sure he doesn't die, and then give him a horrible matchup as well. Like, you know, it's...
I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I'm kind of envious because my top player never played Janna, Sona, Soraka for me. So this like, he's really privileged stuff. I think Wunder should be
be very
praised.
lucky.
He should be praised. Like, Wunder should be praised, yeah.
Maybe if you were nicer to Grabs, you'd also be, you know, given that treatment.
Yeah,
Actually, when he's right, you got the Kha'Zix top lane. and he gets the Janna.
I got Kha'Zix top lane. Oh, let's not go into that. Like, let's just
Can I ask you guys to spend a minute or two with me talking about the itemization and the matchup, right? Sett versus Janna. Let's start with Bwipo's Sett. First of all, he changed a little bit of the keystone, so he went Predator, he went Swift.
I think he's so smart, honestly.
Yeah,
He's so
actually,
fucking good.
Tell me why.
Because anyways, in this lane, he will never hit the Janna. They will only either dive her or he will just roam because he has perma push. So he's just the smartest player in the world, taking Sweetness Boots and Predator and roaming around the whole map, especially Midland. So I can't play the game. Honor people. Just honor him.
And what about the other side? When we look at, Wonder playing the Janna top, talk me through some of the logic. I know Wonder said it's obviously a good matchup into set, but, what were you hoping and what didn't come true in the game?
I mean, basically, it comes down to if they have a comp that wants to go in. I feel like in this game, if they don't want to carry, then they can't win because of Yumi Janna, and that's basically it. As I said before, Set can't really punish the Janna that much. I mean, of course, the Midlaner suffers a bit, but he wanted the Akali, so he gets what he deserves. And yeah, I mean, it's just, again, like a Soraka just roars. She scales when team fights, has a lot of utility. I mean, for example, the one knock-up on Crown in mid lane where you get the one-shot on him. People don't expect that. They're not used to it, especially from top lane, so yeah.
It was a super fun game. So you guys are now 2-0 over Fnatic, right? Sole control of first place. It's the first time in many, many weeks that we've had that.
Actually, we've never been 2-0 against Fnatic
I was
before.
just about to say that. When I look back, summer 2019, 1-1. Spring 2019, 1-1. Summer 2018, 1-1. Spring 2018, Fnatic 2-0 over GG. This is the first time in 2 years that you guys have the 2-0.
Even in summer before that, we lost best of 3s.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is fantastic. You guys absolutely delivered. It was very exciting. Akia player of the game, I do have to announce that it's going to be Yankos. He got 52% of the vote. It's a little bit of a sly grin there.
Okay, I think Caps is getting robbed. I think Caps is getting robbed a bit. Like, I have to say it.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's a certain guy like waving behind us, so that's why I'm smiling.
Is Yankos he's actually standing
like,
and grinning?
Okay, I mean, I think he kind of deserves it because he stole an Ashe, and he was playing really well, but he didn't do anything else besides that. I mean,
so too.
he can't actually do anything else besides that, so it's not like the comp allows him to do anything else besides it because he has losing top and losing bot. So maybe he deserves it because he's playing with that kind of job for him, but like Caps has been playing really well the last 2 games.
So listen, you can tell the fans at home. The fans at home voted, right? So the broadcast team narrows it down to 3, but the fans vote. So do you want to give a plea to fans to bias them for the rest of the votes if Caps makes it on in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys should definitely, they voted for Caps this game, but in future games you should definitely vote for me because I'm getting robbed some games as well, and I think that I should get more votes as well. But if you don't, I'll just be really sad, and then, and then I will need some more subs on my Twitch.
Oh my God, you're so desperate, actually.
I love this. Thank you guys so much.
But you know what? Yeah, Caps should have gotten this game. Yeah, give some love to mid laners.
There we go. Professional opinions from mid laners. Yeah, which one? This means G2, as I said, sole control of first place. The standings are just behind you if you want to take a look at them. Let's talk about the top 5 because right now, obviously, with Mad Lions, Rogue sitting with Misfits there in the 5th place. Then you've got, G2, Fnatic, Origin all up in there. It's exactly as you predicted last week, Grabs. When you think of the games and how they've played out, is anything surprising you?
Just the extent of how coin flipping Mad Lions is. Like, I just think they go from really good to really lost from game to game. But I mean, I appreciate the quality of a young team being able to beat the good teams by playing aggressive, so that's good by them. And as we said, I think they're gonna scale this into summer and be really good. So I think they shouldn't take the bad games too hard. Besides that, I mean, Rogue bounced back really good, actually.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
They looked pretty good today.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're pretty safe in the playoff, as the 4th, 5th seed.
Yeah.
The question I'm gonna ask both of you right now, between Mad and XL, who's going to make it? Let's start with Mad, because you started with them. Strength of schedule, the next 4 games they're playing. SK, Misfits, Fnatic, OG.
That's Mad.
That's Mad Lions,
And what's XL?
XL, Fnatic,
play us.
OG, G2, and I believe SK. It'll come up in just
So
a
it's the same
moment.
schedule, basically.
So it's really tough. The only difference is, of course, that for XL, they have all 3 of the top teams.
Yeah.
And they have to win, XL has to win more games, no?
Correct. XL, but
I mean, then it's definitely Mad Lions making it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, unless XL makes XL does have Joy Youngbuck, the 6th general, so he could pull some miracles out there. But I think I will put my money on Mad Lions right now.
You know that I'm a fan of really dumb stats, right? Maybe you've heard of it. Right? So that's it, right?
Quick stats.
I have a quick stat for you.
Okay.
XL Esports have gone 1-1 every single week this split, 7 times in a row. They play Fnatic and G2 next week. So statistically speaking, there's a 100% chance in prediction right now that either you or Fnatic are going to drop a game next week.
Yeah, I would bet the Fnatic loses the game.
I mean, I would say if we couldn't lose today with Janna and Akali and Rakan and Gragas, we also won't lose next week. So yeah, I think Fnatic has to take that one.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's turn to the top 5 now. Obviously, 1, 2, 3, G2, Fnatic, OG. That feels pretty safe. Number 4, number 5 right now, Mad or Misfits? Where do you
Rogue or
put it?
Misfits?
Rogue, sorry, Rogue or Misfits?
I mean, I would say Misfits can have higher highs. It's kind of awkward because I think even though Misfits beat us, they didn't really do that well in that game, I feel like. But of course, they're also a young team, right? Hard to say, honestly. I think they're both kind of the same.
And does it change when you think about best of 5s?
Yeah, I'm
think
not
one
sure.
team
I
is
think it
better?
depends on mid because right now they're both on this Azir hype train, which I don't quite understand. So maybe if one team
Whoever gets
bans,
a 0 wins.
like maybe if they go away from that, I think Fabi is a bit more comfortable on the more aggressive champion, so would give him the edge. But it's hard to say, yeah.
Where do you go, Perks?
I mean,
number 5.
I'm honestly not sure. I think Mrs. Mid Jungle has been doing really well. Whereas like Rogue Mid Jungle, they're good, very good players, each of them. But I don't feel like they're pressuring them up. Or mostly, it's Larsen farming and doing really well in the later stages of the game. So, well, today they actually did they did roam, right? So that today was different. But most like overall course of more of the games,
Yeah.
I think it's more like Larsen farming up and doing really well in the mid game. But actually, even yesterday he was kind of smurfing. So I'm not actually sure. But I think it's just like probably better mid jungle wins, right? So in that game,
Do
it's
you
gonna be
think it changes a little bit when you think about best of 5s? Because obviously in the top 5 teams that we're feeling safe about, a lot of fans of yours at home will have expectations for G2 Fnatic OG. We don't know what to expect from Rogue and Misfits. So, does it change when you think about the postseason? You think about BO5, and you think who would have a higher high?
We can think about who would adapt better, right, in a best of 5. I think that's the big question. And Rogue has a bit more experience. They played playoffs already.
I don't know, man.
bit.
It's really hard to say. Honestly, it just depends on I don't know. Yeah, I really know. I'm really bad at this. I'm sorry.
One more question
sorry,
before I
man.
move on, and I'll remove you from the spot. Let's say Rogue or Misfits come up against Origin or Fnatic, right? Which between Rogue and Misfits is more likely to upset the other teams? That obviously you're going to beat everybody,
I
right?
think the one that plays against Origin.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree. I think Fnatic will 3-0 both teams.
Okay, I love it. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's move on to the key player of the game leaderboard. Jankos, with his last win, breaks away from Perks. He's also followed by Finn, Patrick, and Xerxes. If players are tied, whoever has the highest percentage of votes comes out on top, right? So when we actually see the leaderboard in a second, you'll see 5 wins, 5 wins, 4 wins, 4 wins, 4 wins. Jankos is up at the top because there's just more percentage of people voting for
So,
him.
Luca, do you think he should play Sejuani twice next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I'm gonna expose Jankos right now. Jankos is playing last year, whole year with Caps, who is MSI MVP, and now he's playing with me, and I won a lot of titles. So I think Jankos is actually getting carried by his mid laners. I think this has to stop. He's kind of favoritism.
Again, it's fans voting. You have
Guys,
to tell the
I know he
viewers.
has really good stream and really good memes, and he's funny, but it doesn't mean he should get all the votes. Like, come on.
I mean,
Look at the other games as
we
well.
hyped him last year, so he gets his MVP, but now can stop, right? Like, it's fine. He got his trophy, and now...
Does it count? I need to speak with the League Ops team. Does it count as collusion if on this discussion these two gentlemen decide to put him on Sejuani and the next week they put him on Sejuani? Like, I
To
don't
be
know
fair,
if that
Trevor,
counts.
I don't need motivation than just Sejuani, right? So I think that doesn't matter, really.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Let's look ahead. There's 2 weeks left in the regular season. Next Friday, the LEC returns for more action. We kick off
Yes.
with, I think, Schalke versus Misfits. Oh, there's the games. Flex scheduling. Mad Lions versus SK, then Schalke Misfits. G2 will be playing Rogue towards the end of the day, so that'll give us a little bit of a taste of what the postseason. What game are you most excited to watch, Perks?
G2 versus Rogue.
Why will that happen?
Well, I'm looking at matchups, and it all looks kind of one-sided.
I mean,
So-
you're hoping XL beat Fnatic, because if they don't, it means XL beats you the next day. Statistically,
Oh,
quick
that's
stats-
true, that's true. But
quick
that's
stats
what I mean,
proves it.
one-sided.
Ah.
Like, you got me
recovery.
there.
Fair enough.
You got me there.
Grabs, which game are you looking at?
No, I also think that our game will be the closest from what I'm seeing there.
Oh wait, I didn't see it's gonna be
There-
closest one. I said it's gonna be more high, the most hype one.
I mean, with my drafts and you guys' early game, it's going to be really close, I think.
True.
So,
Quick thoughts on Misfits versus Mad Lions?
I mean, they play the second day, or?
I think it is. Match of the week, second day.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Again, I favor Mad Lions just because I think they have the high potential to actually upset us or Fnatic in playoffs. Like, I think every other team I see, I can't imagine us losing a best of 5 against them. But against Mad Lions, I mean, they played really well against us, and of course we also got surprised by Kalista Taric, but I think they can be really good.
Who wins the
Who
matchup?
will win? Yep, Mad Lions, Misfits.
Mad Lions, I think.
Well, there we go. I think it's G2's kryptonite. That's basically what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
because we lost to them.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, we also lost to Misfits, though.
Look, you've lost to
But
a
we
shocker,
lost to Misfits.
right?
When we lost to Misfits, it was like a different circumstances. It was like
Excuses.
that's what I mean.
Excuses.
Yeah.
Perks, Grabs, thank you so much. This was one of the most chaotic but most entertaining PGLs that I've had in a long time. Game was fantastic to watch. Congratulations for sitting first in the LEC for now. That's it.
Thank you, Cheryl, for having
It's
me.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Across the pond in the Atlantic.
Oh, Sven.
Cloud9 versus TSM about to start.
Sven versus Kobe.
Sven versus Kobe. Who's going to win? C9 or TSM?
Sven is gonna win. Like Sven.
C9 or TSM?
C9.
C9, 100% win ratio. After the last game, you can check out the rebroadcast of today's action. Make sure you watch our match of the week. For now, it's
And
time.
watch my stream.
Goodbye. Goodbye. I'm done. I'm done.
You are the worst.
What do you mean?
Sometimes it's gonna be battles that you need to fight. You can't back down, no. Don't let them stop you, no matter what they do.
Ground shot getting lower and lower. Lorok's ultimate up and available. He's just going to use it to throw back. Going in. This is one of them. That's going to be Dragon Soul. Now Dreams is on the way in. Odoamne has the Infernal Soul and he's running into the backline. Abadage is going to come for the wall. Odo is now in no man's land, but this might just be a disaster. Odoamne still living, still fighting. Limit running for the hills, but Abadage is there and waiting. Still back contesting here. BF. Coming through. Another. Pulled back. Candle's got to be hitting himself for that one. And now Candle's going to go down the straight coming over the wall. Gargoyle's still playing just too strong. He's simply too tanky. TP's now going into the base. Might be enough to just end the game. It's Expect versus the world. I don't even think they see it coming. It's double TP now. The dump back for Vitality. They finally win a fight. But they're going to lose the EpicSkillshot. The TP as well. There's absolutely no way they escape this. It's going to take a fumble from Rogue for them to get out. Now knocked back into the wall. Larson laying down a little bit of damage. Vander tanking up for now. They're going to walk away. Inspire on the outside. Takes the tower. And will make it out. Very small window here for this Gomez. The fight, they're just trying to delete Shadow before the fight can even get kicked off. Larson still untouched. Still doing so much damage. The RKO comes in. Mid-hole, 3 members back. He goes gold. He buys a bit more time. And that's really it. It's style points at this point. Larson gets the reset. He leaps in. He leaps out.
It's going to be a while before he gets there. Afari could look for the flanks. The Death Guards comes out. Upset Xerxes jumping forward as Upset gets in there as well. And Dandan's rooted up. Afari now with the flank TP as he comes in. Dandan low underneath the turret, taking chunk after chunk. Flash away from B-Boy, but Afari chases him down with a slice of dice. And that's 2. Vivian trying to get into from the bottom side of the fight, but B-Boy, he's just been caught out. He's been left alone. Left by his own team to the wolves. And Origin pounce. Dandan's going to be the second man to fall here as Afari jumps forward. Gets the stun onto Vivian. Vivian puts up the wall, but you can't divide this. Shut down for Nuke, ducking out Origin, and just going to knock straight through the front door. For that true shot barrage, Yanko's going to jump into the pit. He goes on something. Steals this! Yanko, so much weight on his shoulders in this game, and he manages to get the steal.
But 13 HP. Oh my word, that is so unlucky.
There's the true shot barrage coming out as well, and G2 now have a man advantage. Subway jumps back in. Perks alive. There's the Monsoon. Subway's going to go down, and the Monsoon just heals up them all. Reckless next on the menu. Only Nemesis left alive. And Caps is staring him straight in the eye and saying, "Come at me."